welcome to American Aupair Host Mom. Today we're going to be talking about how to welcome and onboard your au pair so that you and your au pair are set up for a great year. So to start with, you want to make sure that you've had great communication ahead of time, and at least a couple days, if not a week before, start talking about how you will communicate and meet up. So for me, I always like to meet my au pairs in person at the airport. Once I get those details, I begin that discussion. I ask and ensure that we have a way we will be able to communicate. Many au pairs' cell phones are not operable during this time because it's not operable with our network system. However, most can use Wi-Fi that might be available in an airport. Or they may be able to get a SIM card ahead of time to be ready to switch over to our American network system. Work through these details plenty ahead of time so that you and your au pair are prepared with how you will meet up. Obviously, you will know ahead of time the arrival and the details of how they will arrive, and you should tell them what to expect. So for me, for my first au pair, she was arriving at the end of the day in the airport. I let her know that I would be picking her up. She had already seen me, Skyped with me, and we'd communicated a lot, so she knew what I looked like. I let her know what the airport was like. The Atlanta airport is one of the busiest and largest airports, so it can be really intimidating for people, especially for an au pair who's never been to America and maybe not even flown that much. So you definitely want to set them up with the right expectations here. In my case, not only did I let her know that piece of information, but I let her know what she'd be experiencing once she landed. And that was the fact that she'd probably be getting on an underground train and headed towards our T gates. Or, in that case, our airport has some particular difficult things that you'll want to explain. So I did this. I also pulled off the internet pictures of what it looks like when you get off the train and the escalator that goes towards the top, which is where I'd be when she deboards. So she knew well ahead of time what the area was going to look like and that I would be there. We talked about the fact that she activated the Aupair GSM or the Aupair card on her phone. So we were lucky that she did have cellular, but she was also aware there was Wi-Fi in the airport. We communicated throughout the day. I saw on social media that she had landed in New York and that she was taking off from there. But most important was that I was there waiting. I brought my daughter with me at the time, and I'd had the kids work on the next big step here, which is you want to make sure that you prepare a special arrival. So for us, me and my kids worked on a special welcome sign for our au pair. It was on canvas, and they painted in all her name that said, "Welcome to Atlanta" or "Welcome to the U.S.," whatever is appropriate for you. And then my daughter held that sign up, and when the au pair arrived, obviously we welcomed her. Then from there, you obviously need to take them home and start the introductions. However, you want to remember that the first day your au pair's probably been through a lot of travel. Your au pair's probably pretty tired. So in our case, it was the end of the night. We just had a really nice dinner, some quick introductions, took her quickly around the house, but let her know that the next day we'd go into a lot more detail and repeat things, which is exactly what we did. So make sure first day is welcoming. Also be aware of the rule that in America, you cannot leave your au pair alone for the first 3 days. I don't think I'd want to do this anyway. It's really important, not just the first 3 days, but the first couple weeks. You're setting the standard for the year. You're onboarding your au pair and training them expectations and how things work in your house. So the first 3 days, I had already taken off of work, and I used this time to ease her into getting to know expectations and confirm, what we'd already told her about how our family is and what we're like. You can use this time to introduce your au pair to all the important sites and things that she's going to be using. So I took my au pair to the grocery store, kind of showed her around, and also took the opportunity to ensure that we'd have some key foods that she would enjoy. You can also go ahead and show them any key kid attractions in your area. Is there a local playground or park that you often want your au pair to take your kids to? Where is their school, or any other key areas that they may have to be traveling to for your kids? Obviously, beyond this, go through your normal day and be pointing out how you handle various things that happen. Whether that be your kids are acting up, do you put them in a timeout? How do you deal with that? Be pointing these things out to your au pair. And my advice here is that you want to start stricter, and you can always let up as time goes on. But be sure to correct and let them know that you're not upset, that you're just showing that this is how it's done, because it would get much more awkward if you let things go that you're not happy about, let them bottle up, and then bring it up months later. That's definitely a recipe for disaster. So focus on doing a lot of training. Appliances and all the things we have can be very different looking or work very differently than how it does in their country. So be sure to demo. For me, I really focus on au pairs who speak English very well, so it's not a challenge, but I have heard that a lot of other families take in au pairs who language is much more of a challenge. In this case, I've heard some great suggestions that as you're showing, say, how to use the dishwasher or how to use the laundry room, you can suggest that they might want to video the instructions so that they always have something back to look on. Then, the rest of the welcome, make sure their room is well set up and very welcoming. You may want to include a small gift basket for your au pair. It doesn't have to be lavish. This can be just well thought out, nice gifts that have to do with where you live. So we live in Atlanta, so it might be a little plate with picture of Georgia, or something that Atlanta's known for, peaches or the Coke factory, things like that. So think about what is an appropriate gift. Make sure they're comfortable. You, as the adult who's comfortable in the house, are going to have to take the lead in pulling out and making sure they're comfortable. So constantly asking questions, trying to pull them into conversation, and checking that they have everything they need to start off with. I think if you start off being very loving and showing some fun, but also doing some correction and showing expectations, you're setting yourself up for a great year. And that's all I have for today. Check out our other videos to learn how to onboard and to just do everything you need to do to continue to have a great year. Thank you.